Beautiful, beautiful. What a crowd, huh? How do you do? How are you? You know, I feel great. So I'm just thinking before to show how lucky I am, you know? Working every night in a beautiful nightclub like this. I mean, it's so different than places I worked years ago. You know, the tough places. Places like Carmine's Cave, Fonzo's Knuckle Room. Oh, he was tough, Fonzo, tough, I'll tell you. Opening night, he came in my dressing room, Fonzo. He told me the last comedian left ashes on a rug. I said to him, did he smoke a lot? He said, nah, just his clothes in his hair, that's all. Oh, he was tough, Fonzo was tough. My closing night on the way out, in fact, Fonzo gave me a little souvenir. Yeah, my doctor told me if this souvenir was a little more to the left, it could have been fatal. I don't know, but what can I tell you? I'll tell you, when I worked these tough nightclubs, I never got no respect. That's the story of my life, no respect. When I was a kid, I told my old man, nobody likes me. He said, don't feel that way. Everybody hasn't met you yet. I'll tell you, my old man, he was the first guy to show me no respect, you know, even at Christmas. I remember one Christmas, I gave my old man a BB gun, and he gave me a sweatshirt with a bullseye in the back. I'll tell you, my whole life, nothing comes easy, you know. When I was a kid, my first case of puppy love, I got fleas. That's another thing, girls. With girls, I never had a chance, you know. What, to get my wife to marry me wasn't easy. My wife, remember the first time I popped a question? I said to her, honey, say yes, and I'll go to the ends of the earth for you. She said, all right, yes. Now you keep your end of the bargain. My wife, she's always got a smart answer. She has a temper too, my wife, you know. Oh, this afternoon she told me she'd give me the best years of her life. What worries me now is, what's coming up? Well, I'll tell you, you've been a great crowd, and hope drop it again, okay? Because I'm always around. You've been beautiful. Thanks so much, okay? Thanks.
Tonight, Rodney.
I tell you, it's hard to be funny when you're depressed, Dean. It's hard. Have a little drink will help out. I tell you, the usual, the Shirley Temple, extra sugar, okay? I tell you, I'm very depressed. Tonight, make it a double Shirley Temple, will you?
Now, Teddy, you'd better make it extra sugar. How come you're so depressed tonight?
I was thinking before about my neighborhood, you know? There's no trees in my neighborhood. You know me, Dean, I love trees. I love trees. You live here in California, there's plenty of trees. Man, no, I tell you, my block is only one tree, and two guys live in it. Another thing that's depressing is my apartment. I live in an older building, you know, a much older building. I live in a kind of building like if I want hot water, I gotta let it run a long time. Well, last week I took a bath on Sunday, I started the water on Friday. I'll tell you one thing, though, Dean, in my apartment, I always know in the winter, I always know how cold it is outside, you know? Whatever it is in my apartment, that's what it is outside. I tell you, in my apartment, everything is old, you know? I got the kind of shades, if you want them to go up, you got to pull them down. If you want them to stay at one level, you have to hold them for a while. And you let go gently, then you walk away softly. The other day, I had all the shades just where I wanted them. The bell rang, they all went up. That was the end. I'll tell you everything in my apartment. I can't sleep where I live, you know? Can't sleep. Every day they come around, knock on my door, ask me to support them in movements, drives, causes. Guy knocked on my door last week. Told me how the Korean people need our help. He said if I give just $1, then Sue Gu and his wife and 12 kids, they can have rice for a whole year. Not only can they have rice for a whole year, but the kids will get books and pencils. And Sue Gu can get a new boat. And they can send 4 kids to college. And I told him, very happy to give Sue Gu $1 if he would show my wife how to stretch a buck that far, you know?